We're tracking down a convicted pedophile priest, Father Luk Delft. Delft abused 2 children in a dormitory in Belgium. We've learned he may be abusing again. Our investigation is zeroing in on a remote town in the Central African Republic, Kagabanduro. It's taken us about 2 days, 3 different planes to get up here to the north of the Central African Republic. If you were trying to disappear, this would definitely be suitably remote. UNICEF has called it one of the worst places in the world to be a child. It's here in Kagabanduro that Delft first worked for Caritas, the Catholic charity. Their mission? To protect the most vulnerable. It's also here that we're hearing whispers of possible new victims. At a camp for displaced people on the outskirts of town, Alban and his father agreed to speak to us about his alleged abuse at the hands of Father Luk Delft. Do you know who this man is?
Luk.
Père Luk?
Nalisa kama lo vokana bongo. Kami parfois le kami ninja. Si ganda ngombi bakalo, lo gadi okana kami bakalo inale inja. That's what I mean.
He became your friend. What happened?
Shonel saso. Mais ce qu'on ba photo lo ke soko ene ve mene vengo. Mi banga visage lo ngaka kama pela mi bazo. Pa ene ve mingi.
It's clear Alban is too upset to talk much more. So we asked his father if he can explain what happened. What did Father Delft do?
Okay. Iso saso akan junap. Meaning getting the akwali lot. Meaning getting the akwali lot. Awa ka mingi ipirigi awadi. Melo botiki meaning getting the montalo. Kami piti da ni piti kamena.
This was hard for both Alban and his father, but they told us it was important for them to talk. They want justice. We leave Kagabanduro. It's time to track down Delft. This is Bangui, capital of the Central African Republic. We've traveled here from the north where we met Alban. Our contacts are telling us Delft regularly celebrates Mass in the area. We try the churches. He's nowhere to be found. We try him at his residence, but he hasn't spent the night. Nothing. We've spent the whole morning looking for Father Delft. It's been a bit of a wild goose chase, but now we're hearing that he's back at his office, and we're heading there now. Hello, Father Delft.
Yes. No.
We spoke to the prosecutor in Belgium, so we wanted to speak to you to ask you some questions about breaking the terms of your sentence. We also spoke to some children up in Kagabanduro who had some really disturbing stories to share with us. And of course, we want to hear what you have to say about it, Father Delft.
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
Nothing.
You're a priest, you're a man of God. These children are accusing you of abusing them, and you have nothing to say for yourself?
No.
Do you know Alban? Do you remember Alban? He said he was 13 when you abused him. Do you remember him? Alban? Alban, in Kagabanduro. At the compound, the Catholic compound. He and his father spoke to us. He was crying. He said that you told him you loved him, and then you hurt him. You have nothing to say.
No.
It doesn't disturb you to hear that children said this about you?
No.
Do you want to say anything?
No.
Well, we will, of course, be speaking to the managers of Caritas about our findings. Thank you for whatever this was. Father Luk Delft's religious order, the Salesians of Don Bosco, moved him multiple times. Each time to schools, campuses, even supervising children. before we were able to catch up with him. You may think you know this story, priests abusing children, but what you may not know is that there are powerful institutions within the church who are free to self-police. In many cases, not even the Pope can sanction them. Father Luk Delft belongs to the Salesians of Don Bosco, the second largest of these institutions, a religious order whose mission is to help the most vulnerable children in the world. Patrick Wall was himself a religious order priest, and to date has helped to investigate hundreds of clerical abuse cases.
My experience has been that the Salesians have the highest percentage of perpetrators of any religious order across the world. Because of their focus, if a priest is allowed to go 20 to 30 years, there are several hundred victims per priest.
We came to the Vatican to share the evidence that we were able to unearth over a year-long investigation. And it's not just Father Delft. We found evidence of abusers being moved, evidence of a refusal to defrock convicted pedophiles. Caritas Internationalis's new head of safeguarding says the Salesians did not contact them about the current allegations against Caritas's former director, Luk Delft.
So you were only made aware when we contacted you?
Yes, and from what information you shared with us, there are new allegations there which need to be investigated, hopefully by the police or at least internally by the church to take action against Father Luk and any other person who is responsible for Father Luk's behavior.
The Salesians appear to have withheld information even from others in the church. We are still looking to understand how this is possible. Father Hans Zollner was one of the few people at the Vatican willing to answer questions. He says the new papal guidelines are progress.
This is a very important step forward in the development of a culture of accountability.
Does this apply, though, to the holy orders? Because the holy orders will not directly fall under that bishop.
Now, the congregations and the religious orders follow a different type of structure and legal procedures. Many people think the Catholic Church is a monolithic block with one CEO who is the Pope, and he presses a button and every bishop and every priest and every Catholic actually salute and they follow what he does. And that is not the case. In some cases, in way too many cases, the religious superiors did not follow through canon law.
But the fact is they did not follow through canon law, and there was no oversight mechanism that made any note of that. So there are no sanctions. There have been no sanctions for that.
If there are no sanctions within the community, which is in that case an order or a congregation, then there is almost no possibility to do that.
And I think that's the heartbreak for a lot of survivors.
Until this blind spot is addressed and the religious orders brought under the same guidelines as other priests and bishops, many survivors believe the cycle of clerical abuse will only continue. Na'am al-Baghir, CNN, the Vatican.